ChatGPT, am I the a-hole? I broke up with my boyfriend after discovering his shocking secret. Let me tell you the story of why I broke up with my boyfriend. It's a doozy. I first started dating him because he seemed charming, sweet, and handsome. He had a good job at a big law firm and made me laugh. However, as we started dating more seriously, I started to notice some red flags. For starters, he was 30 years old and still living with his mom, but he explained that he was saving up for his own place, which made sense. But then there was the fact that he slept in the same bed as his mom and used a pacifier. He explained that it helped him sleep better and that he had been doing it since he was a child. It sounded odd, but I figured everyone has their own weird little quirks. There was also an incident where his mom grounded him for not doing the dishes, causing us to miss out on a date we had planned. I was disappointed, but he apologized and promised to make it up to me. I thought it was actually kind of cute how he was so obedient to his mom. When we finally got out on a date, his mom called him every 10 minutes to check on him, which was a bit annoying, but he explained that his mom was just overprotective and didn't want anything bad to happen to him. I found it endearing that he had such a close relationship with his mom. One time when I was at his house, his mom called out to him saying it was bath time. He immediately hopped up off the couch we were cozy and cuddled on, all excited for his bath time. He even offered me to join him. I laughed nervously and asked if his mom was going to be there. He responded, "Well, of course. Don't all moms bathe their children?" I laughed uncomfortably and said, "Yes, but not usually as adults. That's kinda weird, don't you think?" At this point, my boyfriend broke down crying, and his mom came in, yelling at me, demanding that I apologize to him as she held him and tried to calm him down. I apologized, as it wasn't my intention to hurt his feelings and make him cry. He forgave me and told me to just wait downstairs and finish watching our show while he got his bath in. I was confused as to what had just happened, but I texted one of my best friends about it, and she responded with, "Run," in all caps. The final straw was when I walked in on him being breastfed by his mom. Yes, you read and heard that right. I thought the bath was taking a little long, so I decided to go back upstairs to check on him and his mom. And lo and behold, he was just wearing a towel and sat on his mother's lap as she breastfed him. His mother glared at me as he jumped up off her lap in complete shock and embarrassment. He tried to make excuses, saying it was a medical condition he was embarrassed to reveal so early on in the relationship. But I couldn't get over the image of a 30-year-old man being breastfed by his mom. I broke up with him right then and there. I couldn't handle it anymore. His mother screamed at me to get out of the room, and I ran, grabbing my things on the way out. Instead of apologizing or trying to make things right, he left me a mean message that read, "I can't believe you broke up with me over something as petty as my relationship with my mom. You clearly don't understand the bond between a mother and son, and it's your loss for not appreciating that. I'll always love my mom, and I don't need someone like you in my life who can't respect that. Good luck finding someone who can handle your judgmental and narrow-minded attitude." Looking back, I realized that I should have listened to my gut and ended things sooner. I feel so stupid for ignoring the signs, but at the time, I was just so blinded by my feelings for him and how hot he was. So am I the a-hole for breaking up with him? Part of me feels guilty, but another part of me knows that it was the right decision. At Pixel Pirate, you're the a-hole. I mean, really. You had a perfect opportunity to learn everything you needed to know to take over as his mommy one day. You could have been taking notes on his sleeping habits, pacifier preferences, and breastfeeding schedules. But no, you had to break up with him over something as silly as his relationship with his mom. I hope you're happy now that you've ruined your chances of becoming his next mommy. At LovelyMima97, not the a-hole. I mean, it's understandable that your ex-boyfriend has a close relationship with his mom, but there are limits to what's normal and what's not. The fact that he sleeps in the same bed as his mom and uses a pacifier is already a red flag. But being breastfed at the age of 30 is a complete and utter shock. I'm sorry you had to go through that. It's not judgmental to have boundaries and standards, and it's clear that his relationship with his mother crosses those lines. You deserve someone who can be independent and has a healthy relationship with their parents. At Psychedelic Peach, you're the a-hole. It's clear that your ex-boyfriend's behavior towards his mother was unusual and may be indicative of a psychological condition. Galactorrhea is a real medical condition that can cause lactation in men and women. And it's possible that your ex's attachment to his mother and her lactation was a way for him to cope with underlying psychological issues. It's important to approach these situations with empathy and understanding, rather than judgment and condemnation. Breaking up with him without trying to understand his behavior may have been hasty and unfair. At the Real Nerd King 13, not the a-hole. Ah, yes. The age-old tale of a grown man who still sleeps with his mommy and uses a pacifier. It's the kind of thing that romance novels are made of. And let's not forget the romantic breastfeeding incident. Nothing says, "I love you," like a grown man suckling on his mother's breast. I'm sure you'll find someone much more normal, like a guy who still collects action figures or something. At Databoy, you're the a-hole. What's wrong with having a close relationship with your mom? It's obvious that your ex has a strong bond with his mom, and that's something to be admired. Sure, sleeping in the same bed and using a pacifier may seem a bit odd, but it's his way of coping with his anxiety, and there's nothing wrong with that. As for the incident with the breastfeeding, well, it's a bit embarrassing, but it's not like something he does on a regular basis. You could have been more understanding and supportive instead of immediately breaking up with him. Maybe you should take a closer look at your own judgmental and narrow-minded attitude. At RadFemLove58, not the a-hole. It's important to recognize that women have been traditionally used as emotional support systems for men, and it's clear that your ex's dependency on his mother is a manifestation of that toxic culture. The fact that he sleeps in the same bed as his mom and uses a pacifier shows a clear lack of emotional maturity, and being breastfed at the age of 30 is a sign of an unhealthy attachment to his mother. You are right to break up with him, as you deserve to be with someone who is not still clinging to their mother's apron strings. At Sardonic Mala, not the a-hole. Oh, absolutely not. I mean, who doesn't love a grown man who sleeps with his mother? It's just so endearing. And let's not forget the icing on the cake. Being breastfed at the age of 30. Clearly you missed out on a real catch. Don't worry though. I'm sure he'll find someone who appreciates his quirks. Maybe his mom? At Caffeine Catalyst, you're the a-hole. It's possible that your ex-boyfriend's attachment to his mother and her lactation was a way for him to cope with underlying psychological issues, and breaking up with him without trying to understand his behavior may have been premature and unjust. It's possible that his mom suffers from galactorrhea, which is a medical condition that can cause lactation in men and women. At Surgeon Mike, not the a-hole. You made the right decision by breaking up with him. It's not like you're missing out on anything. I mean, who wants to be in a relationship with a man who still sleeps with his mommy and uses a binky? It's just weird. And the breastfeeding thing? I can't even. You're better off without him. At Incelibator007, you're the a-hole. Your ex-boyfriend sounds like a great catch. He's successful, good-looking, and has a strong bond with his mother, but you couldn't handle that. You're just another entitled woman who thinks she can control everything. You should have respected his relationship with his mother and appreciated him for who he is. But instead, you broke his heart and left him to deal with your selfishness. At Aquaplane, not the a-hole. You did the right thing by breaking up with him. Who wants to be with a man who still sleeps with his mother and uses a pacifier? It's like dating a giant baby. And the breastfeeding thing? Gross. I'm glad you got out of that relationship before things got even weirder. At GoTrunks09, you're the a-hole. You broke up with your ex over something as insignificant as a breastfeeding habit? That's just ridiculous. You clearly don't understand the importance of a man's relationship with his mother. As an entitled woman, you think you have the right to dictate how your boyfriend should behave, but you don't. You're just a selfish, shallow person who couldn't handle a real man. At LilBank69, not the a-hole. I don't think you're being judgmental at all. It's understandable to have boundaries, and your ex clearly has some serious issues with dependency and attachment to his mother. Sleeping in the same bed and using a pacifier are already major red flags, and the breastfeeding incident is just not normal. It's not your responsibility to fix his issues or put up with them. You deserve to be with someone who's emotionally stable and independent. At Porcarella11, you're the a-hole. Your ex clearly had a very special relationship with his mother, and you couldn't handle it. It's not like he was hurting anyone by sleeping in the same bed and using a pacifier. And the breastfeeding thing? It's not like he was trying to breastfeed from you. You could have been more understanding and supportive of his needs, but instead you decided to break up with him and make him feel like a freak. Shame on you. At Bubanga24, not the a-hole. Galactorrhea is a medical condition that can be difficult to manage and can cause a lot of discomfort and embarrassment for those who suffer from it. It's deeply concerning that your ex took advantage of his mother's condition for his own pleasure and didn't show any respect or empathy towards her. His behavior is not only inappropriate, but also abusive, and you are right to break up with him. It's important to prioritize the well-being and dignity of individuals, especially those who are vulnerable due to medical conditions. At Iggy420, you're the a-hole. I'm not surprised you couldn't handle your ex's relationship with his mother. It's clear that you don't understand the importance of a woman's role in a man's life. As his future wife and mother of his children, you would have had to take over his mommy's duty one day. But you didn't even bother to take notes or pay attention to his sleeping habits or pacifier preferences. How do you expect to be a good mother if you can't even handle a little breastfeeding? Shame on you for perpetuating harmful gender stereotypes and failing to prepare yourself for your future role as a mommy. Firstly, it's important to acknowledge the justifiable, uncomfortable, and weird feeling you felt about your ex's relationship with his mother. The behaviors you witnessed are unconventional, and it's understandable that they made you uncomfortable. Moreover, it's crucial to address the psychological issues your boyfriend may have, such as ANR, adult nursing relationship, which could have been caused by attachment issues or some kind of trauma from abuse that led to that being his coping method where he feels safe. It's also important to mention that your ex should seek professional help to address these issues. Additionally, it's necessary to recognize the medical issue the mother may have, galactorrhea, and acknowledge that she may have been trying to help her son cope. However, enabling his behavior by breastfeeding him instead of getting him psychological help may not be the best course of action. Furthermore, it's vital to highlight that your ex's reaction to the breakup was not mature or respectful, and it's understandable for you to feel hurt and frustrated. Although it's reasonable for him to be upset about the breakup, leaving a mean message and blaming you for not understanding the bond between a mother and son was not appropriate. It's also necessary to acknowledge that the issues you had with your relationship were valid, and breaking up with him was a reasonable decision. Your ex's behavior was not typical, and you had a right to feel uncomfortable with it. In summary, it's crucial to acknowledge the valid concerns and discomfort you felt about your ex's relationship with his mother. It's essential to address the psychological issues that he may have and encourage him to seek professional help. Moreover, it's necessary to recognize the medical issue the mother may have and acknowledge that enabling the behavior instead of getting her son psychological help may not be the best course of action. Finally, breaking up with him was a reasonable decision, and it's crucial to emphasize the importance of mental health and encourage your boyfriend to seek help. What do you guys think? Is the OP the a-hole or not the a-hole? Please leave your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more.